We are live. I hope so. Yeah, live. Good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. It's glad to have you all here. We have quite a full panel today. We've got PJ Cruikshank, um, Jeff Conkle, Sovereign Soul, Ryan S, and Luke in the house. How you guys doing?
Oh, God! I see Luke
Great.
slipped in there. No, good.
Just got here.
Just got here. It's good to see you guys.
Wait a
Glad you. Yeah.
The hypocrite.
Excuse Luke, guys. He's still waking up. It's quite early there. So it's good to see everybody in the YouTube land. I'm just going to give everybody a shout out there quickly because I don't really give shout outs there anymore, which is sad. I should do it. So yeah, you guys rock. Everybody, I do appreciate you all on YouTube land. Really appreciate you.
I'm gonna leave real quick. I can't hear.
Okay, Luch can't hear us. Okay, Luch is gone. Anyway,
Good.
So hey everybody, Sovereign Soul, Jeff Conkel, Miss Mod, Vicky was first, by the way. I literally just created the stream, and as I was going in just to even put the poll up, she was already first. So she was like waiting. It's good to see you. She's quick. Hey Lev, good to see you, man. Glad you could make it. INFE, hello. Tony Whitcomb, always good to see you, mate. Really appreciate you being here. Territ, hello. Glad to have you in. Scott Go, what's up? Geo, great to have you in. YouTube and obviously Luch somewhere around there. We got 17 votes. Justin will come and talk about biblical cosmology sometime. Yes, 12%. No, 41%. And maybe 47%. What's up, One Mind, One Spirit?
I put maybe because I think he's the type of guy that if he gets your message, he probably would. He's got a heart for people because I'm subscribed to him, and he does a lot for calling out the Todd Whites and Kenneth Copeland's and Benny Hinn's type of thing. He does good in that, definitely, and he goes good with the word. I mean, he's preaching all that's perfect to me. You know what I mean? He's good that way. But I do notice
he's very good.
He's got a Jupiter. I think he's got a globe behind him, stuff like that. So he's definitely obviously. It's a pity he wasn't a flat earther because then he'd have the full truth then, you know. But not everybody sees all the truth, you know, doesn't see everything. We did.
I'm subscribed to him. I think he does a great job preaching and everything. But yeah, when it comes to flat Earth, unfortunately, it's the one thing that's a no-go zone for pastors and stuff these days. I don't know why. I really don't know what's the pushback on it because when you read your Bible, it definitely describes a Hebrew cosmology. So
that's what blew my mind. That's what blew my mind. I'm like, dude, you're holding a flat Earth book. You're up on a pulpit, and you're what? And then flashbacks to when I was just a kid, and I said, "How do you know the devil hasn't disguised himself as this church?" Man, come on. What are we seeing out there? What are we seeing? And they're all denying the Mandela effect that's happening supernaturally to their own scripture. They want to call it a psyop and everything. What does that tell you about these so-called shepherds of their flock? Would it be like a wolf in lamb's clothing? I would imagine so.
Yeah. Just like the Bible says will happen in the end days.
Right, man.
Look, I don't think they're all dishonest, though. I just think a lot of them go through cognitive pain and they can't accept it. But there's definitely those you can see they're deceptive on purpose. And we've been through some of them where you can tell, listen, you might need to look at the Bible. Hey, Crazy B7, he says the Bible is not a flat earth book. Oh, yes, it is.
I was just about to address that. Yeah, it is a flat earth book. It's not a flat earth textbook. It's not a science textbook, but it certainly supports and teaches flat earth without a doubt.
Exactly. Hey, Anson, how good to see you.
Who made the sun stand still and not the earth? Wasn't it the sun that stood still and not the earth?
Muhammad.
It was Joshua.
It was Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua.
Was Muhammad? Come on, guys. What's wrong with you?
He made the sun and the moon stand still.
He did.
Yeah, so they can finish the argument. So they can finish the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. But if you just look at Hebrew cosmology, it's definitely flat Earth based. So anybody that says the Bible's not flat Earth based, you maybe should go and read your Bible again and look at the Hebrew etymology for every word's used how to describe the Earth, and then look into Hebrew cosmology.
Yeah, look at the very first chapter. It will tell you about creation. And see if you can make a globe out of that. Well, what you describe, what's being described, picture in your head a globe and being created that looks nothing like a globe. Nothing like it.
Well, I know that the Catholics attempted as a way of combating the translations of the Bible that were coming out during the Reformation. And it didn't last very long, but they came out with a version that actually did use the word globe in it.
They actually made their own version, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard to find a copy of this thing. It didn't really take. They've had better luck using their Jesuit army.
Yeah, they do try their best with everything.
Vicky says, "What's Jeff is a no FTFE for him to worship tonight."
He was. If he's still in bandages, he's still recovering from all the burnt butter that he got.
Yeah.
He's been pestering after me on Twitter in my messages, man. He was like, I told him, I says, dude, he says, when are we going to go again? And I says, dude, Cupcake. He says, sweetheart. And I says, well, I don't know, Cupcake. We're working out a debate format that's going to kind of take the wind out of your sails, because when it comes to it, at the end of the day, if I take away all your Simon Cowell bullshit and then you're only relegated to information, if you want to use up your time with your Simon Cowell crap, you go right ahead.
Yeah, then he has nothing left.
You're going to be limited. And if you can't provide any information, which you haven't so far, then you're going to be lost. So without that in your sycophant audience, that's what they're after, is that Simon Cowell type bullshit, Jerry Springer crap, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, listen to how good he insults people. Like that's a win on information. And he doesn't have that. If you take that away and just put the information that he has out there, he's just repeating bullshit that he's heard. Exactly. And then calling you stupid because you don't repeat it. That's all he's got.
Yeah. Jeff Conkle, been a member for 9 months, mate. Really appreciate it. He says, Flatzoid rocks. Yahweh bless you and your family. Bless you too, man, Jeff. I really appreciate all your support. You do rock. I appreciate all my members, all my Patreon members, and everybody that just comes and hits those likes even. You guys are really awesome stuff. Appreciate it. But yeah, Jeff, I mean, Craig really, he had nowhere to hide his head.
Yep.
And from now on, every time someone brings up pressure gradients at Mount Everest, I'm just going to show them back to Craig and say, there's no empirical evidence for mass attracting gas.
Right.
Because you would have attraction of gases to Mount Everest, and there isn't.
Well,
so therefore, you don't have it.
We don't just have a pressure gradient. There's another kind of gradient, too, that you're not considering either.
Temperature gradients.
Right on.
Mm-hmm. That's what gives pressure gradients, is temperature.
Exactly. That's what they can't get. They want to equate it to a pressurized cylinder. And it's like, is a pressurized cylinder dynamic? No.
But what's the argument about the gas laws not having gravity? Oh, that doesn't need to explain gravity. Because it doesn't take gravity into account. That's why.
Yeah, it totally blows their idea of mass attracting mass right out of the water. Well, the air has mass. Yeah, but I removed that mass from the vacuum chamber and the object got heavier.
That's what we explained to Max last night.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we explained to Max. We said we got in. Yeah?
No, I was going to say, Vicky, sorry, there must be a little bit of a delay. I think sometimes we're all kind of, when we go to talk, we kind of talk over each other. I think there's a little delay. But I was going to say, Vicky, don't worry. Once he starts reading off Google, I'll shut him up.
Hey.
Just some banter, don't worry.
But I thought I explained why it gets heavier in a vacuum with you took away buoyancy, so it got heavier.
Yeah, so we took away the medium. Congratulations, not gravity manipulation.
Yeah.
And that, Luch, by conceding that, you're literally making a point that gas doesn't push down.
You really are a flat earther. You just don't want to admit it, innit?
Nah, unfortunately not.
Yeah, well,
For
You're
you.
just delusional.
Unfortunately for you.
yeah.
Yeah, guys, please hit the like, share the show. Let's get this ball rolling. Woo! Okay.
Justin
So if you
Peters
guys
is good, by
don't
the
know,
way. I'd just like to say that Justin Peters, I think his doctrine and what he teaches in general is brilliant. But obviously he's not a flat earther. But when it comes to biblical stuff, besides the flat earth, everything's brilliant, I think, from Justin Peters. I'd just like to let people know that from the start. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so I just gotta say, freedom answers your question.
I was just going to mention to him. That's where my great grandparents came from. Was over
okay.
there.
You better dean.
It was a Robert Muirhead, and they said that he had fire engine red hair. He's a very big man too. He married a Jenny Randall. He came from a wealthy family, but his family disowned him because he wanted to marry one of the servant girls. And so they got on a ship and got married by the captain and came here to America, and he started a farm in Michigan.
Yes, Scott's descendant. Do you know where about in Scotland they were from?
You better dean.
Absolutely not. It's been really hard for me to pinpoint any of that stuff, but I'm working on it.
Cool.
It was Lowlander. I know that.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, I'm closer to the Highlands.
I used to have a lot of red in this beard. I used to have a lot of red in my beard, not in my hair so much, but in my mustache and beard. A lot of that showed up. My son, he's a total ginger. Yeah, I'm always picking on him. I say, ginger's just the N-word rearranged, right? You know that.
That's it. See, I'm blonde, but when it comes to my beard and that comes through a little reddish. Well, it's grey now, but it used to come through reddish.
I'm a redhead, but I'm not going to say why my butt looks like it's on fire. Roger Letwell, thank you very much for your $2 super chat. He says the heat is on. It's on the plane. Exactly, mate. Really, really appreciate the super chat. It's good to see you. You rock, man. Okay. So, yes, like you were saying, Justin Peters, very good. Do subscribe to him, guys. He really does have a good doctrine. I just fathoms my mind, bothers me I don't know, it just bothers me how these people just read the Bible and they don't see how it describes a flat earth. That's the only thing. So I think let's get to it. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Because apparently he took a photo on his iPhone that destroys the flat earth.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's it.
Amazing.
Want to easily and irrefutably debunk the flat.
Okay, I'm going to actually stick his link in chats for you guys. There you go. If you do want to go and subscribe to him, there's the chat, mates.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Lou.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking.
We're trying not to, but we can't.
Because it got a little weird for a bit, so I wondered if it cut off. But no, it's good. So thank you for confirming.
Flat Earth theory simply by using this picture that I took from my own iPhone.
That's the photo he took that debunks the flat earth, people.
Ooh, I'd like to know his reasoning behind that. Wow.
How?
I see he has got a planet in the background, a globe and a planet. I thought he did. I wasn't sure. I thought it was Jupiter.
But I'm trying to look at this photo and think what about that photo makes it a globe earth and destroys the flat earth.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Okay. We'll see now what he's saying. Should be interesting.
I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yay!
Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justin Peters. I hope that this finds you and your family doing well today. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Yes, the flat earth theory is a thing.
So the only thing that bothers me from his setup, because the depth of field is set up, he looks like he's a bobblehead.
Yeah.
He's got this huge head, and he doesn't have that big head in reality, guys. Just to let you know, that's an optical effect.
Not. But he will have a bit of muscle atrophy anyway because he's got cerebral palsy. So He might have a bit
Yeah.
of attitude. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but his head's not really that big, guys.
No,
it's
he's
just
not big.
an optical effect.
No, he's dead.
Because globies don't seem to know a difference between optical effect and physical.
Oh my God, no. Trying to explain to them idiots about that wave is going to appear bigger than, is the ocean really big, huge waves like that out there? No, it's not. You're seeing that up close, and it's just superimposed onto your distant image. They cannot grasp a field of view to save their freaking life.
Oh,
man.
no. I'm busy working on a way to try and explain why when you rise up on elevation of flat Earth, the field of view gets further and you see more. I've got an awesome idea. I'm going to do it. So I'm really looking forward to actually digitizing it. Let's put it that way. Tony Whitcomb, thank you very much for your £5 super chat, mate. Appreciate it. He says, globies should understand that on a globe we would all be dead. No exceptions. Or they deny entropy exists at all. That's the bottom line of it. Because their model is said to overcome natural law. That's as simple as that. Because even Craig said, yeah, gravity can overcome entropy, remember? And Max, I think Max also said that. Which is insane. If you claim to overcome entropy, then you are insane. What was that famous physicist that said, if your model goes against entropy, there lies no hope? What is that? I've got to find that quotation again. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Tony. Really appreciate it. And another $2 super chat from Roger Ledwell. He says, that one heck of a phone. Yeah, that's the phone that's going to end flat Earth, guys.
That's
it's going to end flat Earth.
Luke's a guy called Jog in chat said hello to you. Oh, you know that.
Thank you. I'm doing very well. 33.
Luke, you shouldn't use soccer accounts to say hi to yourself. Okay?
No. That's not me.
I'm just joking, man. Hey, Jog, good to see you, man. You got a fan, so that's a good thing.
You thought I was someone else for a while before you even met me.
Yeah, Jog's been here for a while. That's what I said. I was just joking. It's good to see you got an admirer, mate.
Thank you, 33.
Okay, let's carry on and see what Justin has to say about that photo.
Has a surprisingly large following, and many flat earthers are Christians, and I believe that they are, many of them, not all of them, but many of them are well-intentioned Christians who erroneously believe that the Bible teaches the earth is flat. It does not.
It does, Justin. It does, and I don't understand how you can't see that. You're so pedantic about the word. I don't understand how you can't see that from creation in Genesis.
Yeah, I mean, he's more than happy to come and talk to us, so we can give the scriptures to him as well if he wants to.
Absolutely.
We can give.
Absolutely.
We can give the Hebrew.
You were Christians flats, and we believed it was still a globe. I mean, I've been a Christian as a globe believer longer, and I've been a Christian as a flat Earth believer. Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. So I suppose I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I became a Christian as a young teen, and I was a glober for most of my life. I never read it as a flat Earth book.
Yeah, but I mean, I just read
introduced to me that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I read creation, and I just read it as I read it the way it is, but just pictured a globe, but didn't bother looking at the words and the imagery at the same time, and just, you know what I mean, and putting two together and getting 5 because it wouldn't have made 4. You know what I mean? It would have made 5 because it wouldn't have matched up the imagery and the words. You know?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mythical Myth? Good to see you, man. Mythological Myth. He says he's a geocentric 6-day literal creationist. Historical anti-theist propaganda is all the evidence we need. Exactly. It's good to see you, man. Really appreciate seeing new faces. What is your guys' thoughts on the 6 literal days? Because I take it as literal,
I take it as 6 literal. I take it as 6 literal days. I mean, it says in the Bible, it says that first day was the first morning and evening was the first day. You know, when it says about day and light, light and darkness, and Yeah, I take it as literal 24-hour days that we have now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying
Genesis
it's
is not
not, then you're
allegorical.
limiting God's power. It's just my opinion.
Oh, did we lose connection? Did we?
Why would
I
anybody
lost
ever have the
connection for a moment.
concept? Why would anybody even
Can you
have
hear
the
me?
concept that that word day means some other length of time, like an aeon or something like that?
Oh.
Where does that come about? That's just more grasping at trying to support your evolutionary time scale, all this phenomenal amounts of time and everything. And I don't even think the flood happened as long ago as that we're told. There is what we think.
4,000 years, apparently about 4,000 if you look at it, the genealogy timeline according to the Bible. But yeah, there's much more evidence for the flood than billions and billions of years old for anything, because they need everything to be billions and trillions years old, because otherwise people would be able to observe their nonsense that they speak, and nobody's old enough to do that. Hey, Peter. Peter asks, how am I doing off the FTFE debate? Very good, actually. Usually I'm sick after the debates, but this time I literally went in having fun, so it wasn't much of a challenge or stressing on me. The only thing that did stress me was sleep. I didn't have any sleep. That was about it. But I know he stressed a lot more than me.
Oh, and it's just like that analogy of playing chess with a pigeon. It kicks over all the pieces and then shits on the board and struts around like he won. And he's still going on like he demolished you. And he said, oh, I could show you hundreds of comments of where the people said I destroyed Flatzoid. I said, comments from your own sock accounts don't count, Craig.
If you go onto modern day debates and you look at the comments, all the people that like the flat earthers that commented, it's just thread like long lists of these buttered globers on there the whole time. That's just commenting nonstop, trying to say, "Oh, you guys are idiots," and it's like, what's with all the insults?
That's all they have, because that's how the compulsory school system works. You understand? If you go against what's being told to you by the academic authorities, you're in some way going to be punished, whether it's put on a silly hat and have to sit in front of the rest of the class, or be held back, or get a grade that's not sufficient, which of course causes your parents to get involved and this kind of thing. It's just so much easier to buy into their bullshit and be told you're smart than to go against the paradigm. And so this carries through, that if anybody goes against this academic authority, then it goes to ridicule and mockery right off the bat.
Exactly. Awesomeness Town Nut says FTFE, McToon, McKeegan have been on a conference call ever since the debate.
Or the other thing that happens is like what happened to me is I get sent out of the classroom.
Yeah, but that's the problem. As soon as you question something, you get sent out. You're not allowed to, because that's what school teaches you, is how to reform, how to take orders, in other words. Yes, it's good to have a school system to teach things, but there is indoctrination where they literally teach you to submit.
Yeah.
Well, none of them made any sense to me. I mean, I can remember as a kid, my brother, there was a big emergency, right? I get called. Finally, somebody came to my classroom, says, Dave, come down to the music room. There's been an emergency with your brother. And I was like, oh, good Lord, what the hell? He was 5 years younger than me. So I go down there, and somehow my brother got his arm, his elbow, wedged in behind one of the dowels on the back of a piano. Now, how he did that, I don't even know. But they had all these teachers standing around, the principal with a PhD standing there trying to figure out, they're going to call the fire department. I just looked up at him and I was like, what is wrong with you people? I said, have you tried putting a little soap on his arm? Hey, yeah, there's an idea. And they did it. And I'm like, holy crap, man. I'm 9 years old, man. And you know what in the holy crap. So I saw it when they sent me out of class. Thank you. I've been trying to get out of here for the longest time anyways. Thank you. And then if you skip school, right, you get punished by not being allowed to come to school. I was like, well, that kind of defeats the point, doesn't it? You just gave me more time off. Thank you.
I mean,
I could always just go in, show up for the test, take the test, and I was done. Didn't have.
I got in trouble just for saying it smells like shit, which it literally smelled like shit. They said it's a swear word, and then I brought out the dictionary and said, "But look, it shows you in the dictionary." Mm-hmm. So then they literally sent me to detention for that. I was like, "It's a word in the dictionary." No, now you're bad chatting me. Blah blah blah. What?
Yeah, you're talking back. Are you trying to act smart? Okay, I won't act smart anymore. I'll just be stupid. I was like, I never understood that one. Yes, I'm acting smart. I'm not acting. I'm being. What are you talking about? Stop. Yeah, none of it made any sense to me from day one. I thought every day I was in there going, why have you trapped me in here with these idiots? Why have you done this? Why do I need to be here? Never could get it.
Maybe that's why we are flat earthers, because we're not like the normal robots. I don't know.
Exactly why.
Yep.
Can I ask something?
There's only two things go with the flow.
Do you think I'm a troll?
Yes, I do. I do. When you're in chat, you are. When you're here with us, no. But when you're in chat, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I am definitely more active on chat. I'll agree with
it's
that.
the things you say. Like the other night, you said, "Well, I'd rather listen to FDFE because he's got a physics degree and Flats hasn't." You know what I mean? But what do you come here, Flats? If you're listening, what do you come here for? If Flats hasn't got a physics degree and he talks about physics,
Yeah. Then why am I such a threat if I'm so dumb and I don't know anything?
Where did Newton get his physics degree at? Anybody tell me that?
He didn't.
No? Oh, that's right, he didn't. But everybody going to listen to his dumb ass eating mercury and acting a fool. Yeah, go ahead. Come on, man.
It tastes so good.
Okay, let's carry on and see what he's going to say.
Okay. But for some Christians who hold to the flat,
Rich, you wanted to say something. I forgot. Sorry.
No, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did have one thing.
Earth theory.
Yeah.
All right, there's two things that go with the flow: dead fish and shit. Okay, don't be that. Swim against stream, man. Find your own way.
Mm-hmm. Be like a salmon. Swim upstream.
There you go, baby.
Push against the prince.
Roger Ledwell, $5 super chat. Read Projected Mars, 1947 book. I'll send you the link by Werner von Braun. Main guy in it is named Ellen. Yeah. I've actually heard this before. I'd love to read that. Yeah, thanks.
If I'm not mistaken, on the cover of the book is a rocket ship that looks almost identical to their SpaceX rocket.
And it's going to Mars apparently, or something like that.
But Elon put his own aeronautical engineering on it and told him, he says, we need to make it more pointy. You need it more pointier.
Yeah, like that's supposed to make a difference in a vacuum.
Right, more aerospace dynamic.
But yeah, I appreciate the super chat, Roger. Really appreciate it, man. You rock.
Like, there's not really much you could do to design a rocket differently.
Yeah, I got an idea how to design a rocket. Just design it and use it. Just don't claim it goes to a place that violates national rule. You know how I was laughing at this last rocket launch again, where they're trying to show how beautiful it is and saying, this is going to space. And then they got amateur photographers watching it, and you literally see it arcing and not going in space. It's like, so not going to space then?
Do you guys have access to bottle rockets like they give to kids to
like the sugar rockets? Or you use the sugar or the water to pressurize and it pushes up, yeah? You can make it.
No, what they are, they're a little tiny rocket with a fuse on a stick. Yeah. And you usually set up a soda bottle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You get those. And light the fuse, it'll take off.
Firecrackers.
Right. So here's an interesting thing, man. Shoot one into the water and watch it. Then compare it to what you see when those things go up. It looks exactly like that. Just like a bullet hitting water does. Every time. Every time it looks exactly that same way.
Exactly. Cheers,
Well,
Jeff. Good to see you, man. I still believe there's definitely waters above. And that's why you see, when you see those rockets hit, that you see that like wave ripple effect there. It's like they're definitely skirting off somewhere. And that's something I do believe, for sure.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
They are bringing unnecessary ridicule upon Christianity in general and the Bible specifically. And I want to show you how to debunk the flat earth theory just by this photograph that I took from my iPhone. Now, I have been called a false teacher for a number of different reasons, but one of which people have called me a false teacher because I believe that the earth is round. And as you might suspect from the globes I have on my bookshelf back there, these are MOVA globes, by the way, MOVA. People.
Yeah, we know the MOVA globes. Okay, but the thing that's got me is like it's unnecessary. I don't think it's unnecessary. I think it's necessary to be pointed out. The book you are trying to teach teaches a certain cosmology, and this is the position I hold. Me, as an honest Christian, I have to concede that's what the book says. It's as simple as that. You can be honest and say, okay, that's what the Bible teaches, but I don't believe it. That's a different story. But if you literally go out and say, I don't believe that's what the Bible says, because you believe in a globe, that's dishonest. You see, you can go two ways. You can just say, okay, I believe it's still a globe, even though the Bible doesn't teach it as a globe. Or you can say, no, it isn't teaching a globe because I believe it's in a globe. Which one is dishonest?
You can't believe two conflicting things at the same time. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I don't know how people can do that.
I mean, because you're putting man over God when you're saying, sorry, if you let's put it this way, if you think, okay, the Bible doesn't teach a flat earth, okay, then you probably don't understand what you're reading, and you're trying to make excuses up for why it's not describing a flat earth, which it is. We've had many streams on this, giving all the scriptures and explaining the etymology, the root words, and everything. Okay, that to me would be dishonest if you know that's what it stands for, and your excuse would be, you can't take it literal, and you're literally saying then, well, let's limit God's power. Why? What's your excuse? Because science says so. No, there's no science that says it. It's pseudoscience based on heliocentric cult beliefs. People that claiming to know better than God. So, in other words, you choosing man over what God's word is, which is, to me, dishonest.
Yeah, exactly. And this has been the whole thing. Is trying to get on an even keel with God. This is what they're trying to be. And I mean, this is even reflected in the Mandela effect. I think one of the big signs of that, when you look at the Vatican, that ceiling mural of Adam and God and Adam are now at the same level. God is no longer reaching down to Adam, and Adam has his hand kind of in a gay pose like this.
Yeah.
And it's God touching on it like that. And I'm like, I know better. That has never been like that. And you see so much residue as to how it used to be. And people will still say, I mean, Christ, the Pope even lives in there. You'd figure he'd go, hey, somebody's changed the painting. What's going on with the painting up there? Yeah. And, nope, not a word.
And if you actually look at that properly, man's hand is actually slightly higher than God's now. You know what I mean? It used to be God reaching down to man. Now Adam's hand is now slightly higher. I mean, Adam is still a little, he seems like he's on level, but his hand is slightly higher than God's, which says something.
And that's the thing. They were very symbolic in how they did their art those days.
Yeah.
So it would be literally heresy for him to paint that.
Yeah.
Literally, it would be heresy.
Yeah, man.
Because he would be exalting above God. And it was I dare say it, Christian time, which it wasn't, it was Catholic, Roman Catholic, but they would arrest the guy and probably have him quartered just because of that painting if it really was the way they portray it today.
That's right.
I think that's what I think that's what the tree of knowledge was actually symbolic of, that knowledge which is only for God. And here we have our quote unquote scientists. We've discovered the human DNA molecule. Let's jack with it, man. Let's just mess with it. You know, after all, 90% of it's junk DNA, right? So then 20 years go by, they've been splicing and doing all this crazy nonsense. And they go, oh, wait, that's not junk DNA. We find out that it works in gene sequences. Oops, our bad. And it's like every time man gets into anything that is only for God, they screw it up and pervert it to such an irreversible, unrepairable place that, you know, you're just left holding your hands out, you know.
Okay.
We've done that with the genetic abominations that they've created as far as agriculture is concerned. They're trying to do it with people. The last 3 years was a big push at doing that shit to people. So, no, they're really on a they want to be God, but they can't create. They can only take that which has already been created and then pervert it. That's all they have the ability to do.
Hey, Gavin B, good to see you. And Glenn Stars, good to see you too, man. But yeah, that's all they do. They have to pervert it. They got nothing else they can do.
I've seen comments from folks asking me what those things are. They're MOVA globes, and they operate by light. They've got magnets inside them, and light gets them to spinning. Now, my Earth there is not spinning like it should because it doesn't have enough direct sunlight on it. But at any rate, that's what those are. So yes, I do believe that the Earth and all the other planets in our sun are spheres. Now, the Earth is not technically a perfect sphere. It's an oblate spheroid because the Earth at the equator, the circumference of the equator is a little bit greater than the circumference of the Earth going this way, pole to pole.
They also like doing that. They try and bring in little facts to try and make it sound like they really know what's going on. But I mean, knowing it's a geoid is like one of the first things you know as a globie anyway. So it's not like it's new information.
That's because of the gravitational pull on the Earth from the sun. A little interesting fact.
No. It's not said because of the gravitational pull from the sun. So it doesn't know his own model. It's because of the centrifugal forces of the spinning globe. That's why. It's like when you take a pancake and you spin it, and it stretches out more. That would be why. It's not because of the gravitational pull of your sun. There is no gravitational pull of the sun. There is no force of gravity to give a pull. Yeah?
Oh, well, to bring it back to the earlier conversation about the Bible, because I wanted to say that, since the Bible was written before, science and observations and all that, the people, you would have to base it on their observations, and because of that, they describe it as a flat plane, because that's what they observed it to be, as a flat plane. So, the Bible describes the earth as a flat plane because that's what you see it as, a flat plane with your basic observation. So,
yeah, okay, I'll answer you quickly now with that, but I just want to say, Roger Little, thank you for your $2 super chat. He says, no, it's a Flatzoid. Thank you very much for the super chat, man. I appreciate you. You rocking. Yeah, I saw that a 5.5 hour stream this morning with Jaron. I was on there for a bit. It was great. Unfortunately, I had to leave to go to work. But yeah, it was good. If you guys haven't watched it, go to Sovereign Soul's channel. Maybe Vicky can set a link in there, or PJ. Then they.
Yeah, I think Vicky's gone. Vicky's gone.
Yeah.
Sovereign's link, yeah.
Yeah, if you can also stick it in.
This
morning.
I got it.
Yeah, okay. But let me point out to Luch quickly. Do you know the Christians came up with the scientific method?
Well, I don't know who thought of it, but
Yeah,
anyone could
the
have
Christians
thought
are
of
the
it, I
ones.
guess.
I'm just trying to say the Christians are the ones that actually came up with the scientific method because they wanted an empirical way to deduce reality without having anybody's opinions to cloud the judgment. So the Christians came up with the scientific method.
Okay.
Yeah.
And God
So,
also
so they weren't dumb.
No, I was going to say as well, God gave Adam all the information he needed, so I dare say he would have known then for the shit, and it got passed down to Moses. So it was just knowledge passed down. I don't think it's just because that's what they observed. Yes, they did observe that, obviously, but I don't think it's just because of that. I think they knew.
Yeah. Hey, Anson, what's up? Good to see you.
What's going on, Anson?
Hello.
You're still muted, bro. It's got to turn green. You got to make the mic green, Anson.
Yeah, still mute. Whoop, whoop.
Tap the top of the mic, Anson. You're
That
muted,
would
bro.
be.
There we go. No.
There we go.
Oh,
Nope. Still not.
Cool.
dot.
While we're waiting for him, I'm just gonna. Oh, he dropped out. He'll probably come back.
Yeah, he will.
How do you like Luch's new name?
Oh, there you go.
Blah.
Brenda didn't take too kindly when I did that to her name last night.
Brenda.
Nah, I found it funny. I found it funny. There you go.
But you rock, Luca.
Huh?
I say I enjoy you coming on. You're a cool guy, man.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes.
You're welcome.
You get trolling, but I think you can't help it. It's your only way to keep your way in the closet of being a flat earther, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's
Sigh.
decent. He's decently behaved. Exactly like how Max was. Now, Max, we I had a good conversation with Max last night, and he don't get mad or anything else like that.
That's what I like about him.
And he's like almost too nice. He like raises his hand like he's in school when he wants to talk and shit. And I respect the hell out of that, But I think Max has the potential. If he really delves into the information and looks at it with a critical, open mind, he'll definitely see it.
Yeah. Let's see if there you go. You guys got sound. How's it going, Anson?
Yeah, very. I'm good, man.
Good.
Yeah.
Great to have you in.
Yep, thanks. Thought I'd pop on and enjoy the conversation.
Awesome. Yeah, you're always welcome.
Thanks, man.
What are your thoughts so far?
On what particular question?
On his belief system that, he's actually got he preaches really well, but him thinking that the Bible doesn't teach a flat earth and is trying to debunk it.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on that kind of?
Yeah. Well, I've always thought that it's even more ridiculous for a Christian than someone who believes in the Bible to believe in a satanic globe and go against obviously what's being taught in Genesis than someone who doesn't. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like Genesis is clearly states everything to do with our cosmology and the flat earth. It's as simple as that. So just, and you could just make a statement like it doesn't teach that, and it's just a statement. He's not giving proof. It's just he just gives the conviction in his voice. So you know what I mean?
Exactly. No, I 100% agree with you. But hopefully the people will, actually start conversing the subject instead of taking they take offense of it for some reason, and then they get very defensive, and that's the red flag I get. I mean, shouldn't they just embrace it and actually discuss it? Because I find it very hard for especially pastors to just discuss this, because it's almost like they want to be right, and then they want to just everybody else is now just wrong. I don't think that's
I know why.
looking at it. Yeah, go ahead.
I know why they find it offensive.
Mm-hmm.
just like how, well, other people find it offensive, their flat Earth, because they've studied they've studied subjects for years and years and done lots of research, and then some guy, whatever, a person just comes up to them and says, "No, you're wrong about this subject you've studied your entire life." You know, I mean, that does sound pretty, you know.
But they don't have this. You see why I don't agree with that? Because they don't have the same cognitive, how can I say, response to atheists trying to debunk the Bible or Muslims or anything. You know what I mean? They don't get triggered about it. But as soon as a flat earther comes and says, "Listen, yeah, the Bible actually teaches a flat Earth," they get triggered. I see someone.
Think that,
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I see someone is trying to join. Sorry, the room is full. So wherever it is, I apologize. You'll have to wait till someone does drop at the stage. But
I want to touch on something Luch just said. You know, and I study, you know, some stuff that they've studied their whole lives and stuff. Okay, I want to put this in a different context. Suppose that all throughout school, and you could go to advanced studies in it, they taught you Dungeons and Dragons. You've heard of this game? It's a fantasy role-playing game.
Yeah.
Right? It's got a lot of rules, a lot of intricacies. Has volumes of books and stuff that goes along with it. But they're teaching you this shit as though it's real. Okay? And then you go on off into high school or into college, and they have special course studies in advanced Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. And they're still teaching it as real. And then you go out there one day and try to prove that orcs are real, or try to prove that any of that shit is real, and you find out that it is only fantasy. You've already invested a lot of money in Dungeons and Dragons now. So it's to your advantage for it to seem real to you, because you can't accept that you were taught a whole lot about nothing for several years. And that is what the Jesuits are set out to do with compulsory school, to teach you a whole lot about nothing. That's its whole design. So this unwarranted appeal and trust in academic authority is just for the birds. You really got to look at it. You got to consider the source. 100%.
I mean, I don't think it would be an appeal to authority, though.
Academic authority, because that's all we knew for the first 12 years of our lives, basically, was that.
Because you're listening to someone you're listening to someone speak about physics that has a physics degree.
It doesn't matter if it's a degree in Dungeons and Dragons. Doesn't make Lou. A degree in Dungeons and Dragons does not make Dungeons and Dragons reality, does it?
No.
Okay.
But is there even a degree in Dungeons and Dragons? I don't think so.
I'm using it.
You can get a degree.
See, Matt,
I didn't say that there really was such a thing, although there's special course studies in it, and it's nonsense. Having a degree in it doesn't mean anything. It's just your own affirmation of your belief system. That's all it is.
But that's never happened, though.
It's good to see Thomas in the house. He says he is a dedicated New Testament believer, and a not ball earth does not trigger except to keep happiness. So it sounds like he's a flat earther. I'm not sure. But good to see you here, Tommy.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Let's carry on, because I'm interested to see how that photo of his debunks the flat earth somehow.
By the way, I learned this.
Sorry, Luch?
Nah, I'm just saying I like.
Okay.
Go ahead.
12 or so years ago, I was preaching in Ecuador. Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador is the tallest mountain on Earth if you measure from the exact center of the Earth.
That's what they say, But how do you measure from the center of Earth if you don't even know where the center of Earth is? What's the deepest you've ever dug? 8 miles?
Oh, they're calculating that off that R value.
Exactly. And I mean, this is also where I mean, when I was asking Craig, okay, but now Mount Everest is part of Earth's mass. So your mountain is still part of Earth's mass. So why are you trying to separate it to say it's higher or lower from center? You understand? That's really erratic.
And your gradient should follow that contour too. That gradient that you're talking about should follow that contour because of gravity. I mean, they're treating it like layers of sand of different densities or some shit. So that's what should happen. But it doesn't. It's ridiculous. Like a humble.
This is for you, Luch from Anthony. Flatzoid, can you ask Luch if he can send us that citation yet? I would like to see it. The one where he said that Joule expansion of gas law is not one with classical gas laws.
Yes, I can.
Oh, you got it.
I did find.
Okay. While he's looking for it, he can send it to me and I'll send it to you, Anthony, or he can send it to you straight through. So we'll see what he says. Okay.
It's not Mount Everest, it's Mount Chimborazo in Ecuador. It's actually about almost 7,000 feet further from the center of the Earth to the top of Mount Chimborazo than it is from the center of the Earth to the top of Mount Everest because of that bulge around our middle, the Earth's middle. So interesting little tidbit there. So next time if you're on.
Also, speaking of that, even that alone debunks the pressure gradient gas pulling down to the center of Earth as well, because it's further away from Earth then, from the center of mass, so you should have less gas pressure there. And we don't have less gas pressure there, do we?
Man, it's so insane, right? The whole concept, because in their model with gravity, that central point right in the middle of the Earth must have this pounding tiny force that is, you know what I mean? But that they're talking about that point which is in the core.
Yeah.
So in their conception of gravity, that the gravitational force at that point must be enormous. It must be this point of powerful energy. It's just bizarre, isn't it? It's just totally bizarre.
Yeah, it's really weird, but that's why the model contradicts himself as well the whole time. Sleeping Warrior, there's the link for you, mate. I'm on it now, and Luch, I don't see that statement that you gave us.
It's a different one. I couldn't find the exact one, but I had to try a different route since that one wasn't going through. I found another one, a similar one, that mentions the gas laws, but it doesn't mention the free expansion of gas law as one of the classical gas laws. So,
but the Joule's free expansion of gas is still a gas law. Just because it's not described as a classical gas law doesn't make it a gas law, mate.
No, that's...
Because there's actually more gas laws than just what the classical gas laws are. Just like you get classical mechanics, there's more physics to classic than just the normal classical mechanics that you taught.
Yeah, and here's the thing, man, like what he was saying about, what do you say to people that have invested in the physics and that? Well, it's not getting rid of all physics. It's what they've done to physics, especially in the space and that aspect of it, that's kind of warped it. But you could still take your understanding of other aspects of physics and just accept that this deception has happened.
Yeah, exactly. And 75 people watching. That's awesome, guys. That's really cool. Appreciate it. But only how much? It shows only one like on my show. What's going on?
Yeah, they don't always just show right up. I'm going to do a refresh and see what it looks like.
30 likes. Come on, guys. Hit the likes. Really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Come on. I'm not really good at maths, but I think 75 is more than 30.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
On Jeopardy, and that comes up. That's the answer. So anyway, so the flat Earth theory is a thing, unfortunately. Now, basically, this is what the flat Earth model looks like. So
No, that's not how the flat Earth model looks like. You see, this is the issue I got.
And why did he say unfortunately?
Yeah, unfortunately. That's
what is that for?
It's putting thoughts in your head, you see. It's insinuating. It's like, you hear the word unfortunate, and then you're like, oh, it's unfortunate, is it? And before you know, he's continued talking. You didn't even realize he'd sneaked that word in.
Exactly. I'm going to open in a new page. Let me quickly show him what the flat Earth looks like according to Hebrew cosmology. Roger Ledwell, thank you very much for your $2 super chat. He says, I love jawbreakers. I love jawbreakers too.
Oh.
I remember when I was smaller, I bought myself one of those big ones. It took me like 3 months to finish it because I kept licking it and putting it in the freezer. So every day I just lick it a bit and then put it in the freezer.
I got a jawbreaker.
Anymore.
I got a jawbreaker right here.
Is a jawbreaker?
But you are.
Is sorry.
Yeah, go
ahead. Is a jawbreaker the same thing as a gobstopper?
Yeah, exactly the same.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is the
Yeah.
Gobstopper. What are you, Willy Wonka or something, man? What's up?
I have had gobstoppers before.
Yeah, but you see, you guys in Australia have different things. You guys call we call it pluckies. We'd call it flip flops. You guys call it thongs. You guys are like just weird.
Yeah. we call it Maccas, and Americans call it Mickey D's. So there you go.
We use flip flops here too.
Yeah,
that's what they sound like.
Definitely. Okay, so yeah, just for Justin, this is how the flat Earth model actually looks based on the biblical cosmology, and this is not anything like he's showing us. So I just thought I had to point that out because they love to strawman us with that.
Would that be the Galatians map?
No, this flying disc, disc in space, which is false. I just got to shout out to everybody again trying to get in. I see there's a few people trying. Fortunately, the panel's full.
So I can leave if like someone wants to come in.
If you're willing.
Yeah, okay, I can do that.
Awesome. Thanks, man. I do appreciate you being here. But I'm sure other people also want to say something.
All right. What
awesome.
Do you want
Thanks.
To say?
Short Luch. You want to give any closing statement before you leave?
Well, thank you, that drug 30 person for saying that I was all right. How are you doing? I'm good, thank you. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Short, mate. Thanks for coming. Bye. Okay, Luch is gone. Now we'll see who's trying to pop in because I see people are trying to pop in the whole time. Okay.
Bye, Felicia.
You doing good, Ryan? I think he's struggling with
it. I just got back from vacation.
Yeah. That's good. Mark, what's up, Mark? Good to see you.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, and yourself?
Fine.
Good. What are your thoughts on tonight?
What are my thoughts on what?
On the subject. What are your thoughts on what he's presenting to us?
I'm just here to learn. I'm just observing. I have to take in a little bit more before I can make anything definitive statements about that.
Okay, cool. Well, it's good to have you in, man. Appreciate you coming. And guys can stop me anytime you need to say something. Okay, but let's see. This is the model he's presenting, which is not the actual flat Earth model. It's a straw man model. And you see he's got Dave McKeegan on the bottom. Oh, no. No wonder why he's trying to push this. He watches Dave McKeegan. Sad.
We are living, according to the Flat Earthers, we are living on a giant manhole cover.
No, we're not.
And the center of the Earth is the North Pole, and Antarctica makes the perimeter of the Earth. And you might be wondering, well, can't people go to the edge of it? Well, Flat Earthers say, no, nobody can go to the edge of the Earth because the military is down there, and if you get close to those ice walls...
Something tells me he's been listening a bit too much to people like McToon and Dave McKeegan.
Yep. Yep. He's about to come out with a Polly wants a cracker any minute now.
Let's try and I don't know, let's make a prediction on what he's going to present. I think he's going to do trigonometry, orthographic view, and then say, you see, therefore not flat Earth. We're not understanding, we don't see in orthographic view, ignoring every single optical anomaly in reality.
Yeah, two-dimensional orthographic Euclidean geometry for what we see in 3 dimensions perspective. They're showing parallel lines. Of course, the path of the sun and the plane of the Earth don't change, right? Mm-hmm. Not in reality, but from your perspective, they sure as hell do. Do you think the sky is literally touching the ground? That's what you see in the distance, right? The sky is not literally touching the ground.
And that's unfortunately exactly what the globe has to believe. I mean, you saw when I was debating Craig, he was taking circle, which is based on your field of vision, trying to make it a physical shape on a sphere. It's like, no. And that's unfortunately the thing that we're sitting with.
Boundary.
It's crazy.
And the military will shoot you, and so nobody's actually traversed Antarctica or been to this. They say the South Pole doesn't even exist, which is just lunacy.
No, okay, I've got to correct that. You get the ceremonial South Pole. That's for the tourists, where they put a pole in the ground and say, this is the South Pole, which it's not the true South Pole. It's just a ceremonial South Pole. And no, the military's not going to just shoot you. They'll arrest you and escort you back to whichever country you came from if you don't have the correct documents. And it's very expensive to get those documents and to get, how can I put it, permission to actually go there, especially unaided. Because if you do get permission to go, it's usually you have people taking you to where you need to go. They watch every step you do.
And then if you don't get approved, you don't get your money back either. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm. You lose that deposit, and it's a lot of big deposits you lose.
Yep.
As soon as they find out you're a flat earther and you pay a deposit, they'll just revoke it.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows you're not free to traverse Antarctica.
You're not really free to traverse anywhere. If you think about it, you have to have permission from either like even with traveling in an automobile, they took away that right and then sold it back to you in a form of licensing. You can't just up and go to another country without permission. You have to have a passport. And there again, you may be or may not be on a no-fly list. I mean, there's this bullshit about you're free or not in any way, shape, or form. You have the illusion of freedom, but you're really tightly controlled and accounted for. No different than a cow in a pen with that tag in its ear. It's the same thing. You have that tag, and if you don't have that tag, they don't know what to do with you, man. chop you up, make steak. That's it.
Yeah, because here's the thing, man. They can completely survey everything and control you from above. So however far away you get from urban areas or whatever, they can always find you because they've got this total bird's eye vision all the time. That's how they can control these large groups of people, I guess. You know, we don't know how much technology or they really have, but there are cameras absolutely everywhere now, like you know, literally.
Mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
you know, I think that's a lot of. They would love us to believe that, but over my course of my life, I found out that if you would like to screw up a wet dream, get the government involved. They can never do anything correctly. They screw up everything. We've got this hyped up view of the military. I was in the Army, right? And what you see on the movies and shit like that, it ain't nothing like that. It's one big, huge cluster the whole way. They would wake us up 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning for an alert. And this is during the Cold War. By the time they got even rolling out the gates, it was probably 6 or 7 a.m. And I mean, holy crap, what, 4 hours just to get out the damn gate? Are you kidding me? And it's all because people just fucking up and not knowing what's going on. One guy not talking to the other. I mean, it's a total screw up. So this idea they sell of this precision moving outfit.
Where did you serve? I'm sorry, excuse me. Where did you serve?
I was in Germany.
With who?
The United States Army.
What division?
I was fifth Corps USERA. I was with the 32nd Signal Brigade Battalion, 22nd Brigade.
How long were you at that job?
3 years.
So you're 3 and out.
Oh yeah, I had enough of that. That was just like one of the most retarded things I ever saw in my life. I was like, oh my god, these people are going to get me killed. I mean, I came up with a way where I could be safe. I was communications, right? So I figured out how to remote my unit so that if they homed in on my signal and bombed the radio, I wasn't anywhere near it. Oh no, I got in trouble for doing that. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? I got like a 10-second combat life expectancy with that freaking high frequency radio. Are you kidding me? I had it set up. I was over in a foxhole, had a cable running to my radio rig. I didn't even have to be in the damn thing. But no, that's not efficient. Holy crap, man. Some of the shit that they would come up with, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah, I do think a large part of it is compliance, really. And like, you know, it is true. People do give too much credit to it, you know, where it's not due. And kind of, you know, it's all mental, isn't it? It's easier to trick people into doing stuff than actually force them. That's always the last measure. You know, if you can make people do stuff on their own, you don't need the military to step in or anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Just remember, kids, Santa is watching.
But I want to give you a very easy, simple way to debunk the flat earth. So this is the basic model. Now here I've got another picture of an image of it. So we are on this giant manhole cover. Now there's the sun, and I drew some little happy little clouds, puffy little white little happy little clouds there. Now all flat earthers, all of them will say that both the sun and the moon are above the clouds.
That's actually false. We claim we don't know where it is. We claim we don't know what it even is. I mean, we can show videos where it's not above the clouds. We can show it's inside the clouds.
Nice little shout out to Bob Ross with his happy little clouds there. You know, that guy that paints on. Oh, there's a happy little tree over here.
Yeah. I'm just going to add some texture here.
They've made the sun absolutely enormous.
Yes.
Even in the flat Earth model, they just can't help themselves. Like whatever model, they make the sun like ridiculously big. So of course it looks
your fluffy little cloud.
It's like it's much closer and smaller. So yeah, it could just sit in the cloud.
The thing I can't take about what they do with these straw man models is, especially Dave McKeegan, Well, no one wants to give me a straight answer, so I will just make it, everybody says about 3,000 miles. So I'm going to base it off of 3,000 miles. And then I'm going to do a debunk on that 3,000 miles that no one makes a claim about. That's how Dave McKeegan works. He doesn't get a claim on something, so he makes a claim on our behalf and then tries to debunk a claim we've never made. And then all you get is their trolls. Yeah, you debunked the flat earth. You're so smart.
He puts words in your mouth that you never said, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's another one. That's a good one.
Yeah, imagine Bob Ross as a drill sergeant. Please, just stand up. Thank you. Can you do 10 push-ups? Take it easy now. Cheese.
Yeah, I was
Now
saying that
they don't have a consensus on exactly how.
Sorry?
I think I got a fellow rat in the chat because he knew exactly what I was talking about. He said he was a rat rig. That's radio teletype. And he said they never want you to use your equipment the right way. And the reason I said cheese, when I was in, that was the thing. When they'd call on the HF platoon or the rat platoon, we'd sound off by going, cheese, because we were rats, right?
Yeah. Did you also get those rat packs?
What do you mean? The ration packs?
Yeah. With the cheese and the condensed milk and the Pravitas. Oh, those were delicious.
Well, we would get the C rations. When I was first in, we got the C rations. I was one of the first outfits that they tried out the MREs. We were also one of the first people we got when I was stationed with the for a little while as their net control for the cavalry unit that was there at Fulda. I'm sorry, it's blowing my mind now. It was the last cavalry regiment that was left. They have this black horse on their thing. We got the Black Hawk helicopter first. We got the M2 Bradley, the M2 fighting vehicle, and we got the M1 Abrams. We were like the first units to get that stuff over there. 15th Armored Cav Regiment. That's what it was. And so the C rations, they were phasing those out, and they started bringing in the MREs. Nobody liked them. We wanted the C rations back. The MREs suck.
MREs are everybody. I mean, if you can get the MREs today, it's not the same. It's really not the same. Because I remember, because I actually grew up on a military base, so I used to get the rat packs for free. It was really awesome. And I know sometimes because we used to go to the bush for like 3 months. When they would give them their rations, you'd get like a unmarked can, and you don't know what you're getting. It was like a game you play. Like one day if it's going to be baked beans or it's going to be a tin of jam. It's just really good.
Yo, man, I remember I used to do, we had to do this thing called CCF, which was similar to Army, but it was like when you're a older teenager, you go to like Army camps and do stuff. And I remember they brought in this new law in the UK where they said that the actual army had to change the image that they shot at in training from the picture of a person to just some like random shape in like some woke agenda where it's like you're training to kill people, but you're trying to make out that it's like you're not training against even something that looks like a human. So it's like, what kind of crazy, this is when they started like doing these weird mind games. It's like trying to justify like an organization that's like, you know, what it's for within this like new, like weird, like political correctness and like wokeness. So it's just crazy, man. Like the hypocrisy of the system, you know?
Exactly. Roger Ledward says, thank you for your $2 super chat. He says, floating manholes. Yeah, where's that floating manhole in reality, really? I mean, well.
How far up the sun is. I've seen estimates anywhere from about 30 miles, believe it or not. Some of them actually say that, 30 miles, up to somewhere around 3,000 miles up above the ground here, on top of our manhole cover. So the sun is up there, but whether it's 30 miles or 3,000 miles, both the sun and the moon are above the clouds. So if that is true, there is no possible way for the sun ever to illuminate the underside of the clouds.
This has been demonstrated many times, literally based off of reflection. Have these people ever heard of reflection before? I mean, I think Chris Berry did the demonstration. I've done it before. You just move it far away.
Y'all are laughing at this flat earther guy, or what?
Yeah, I'm laughing at the argument that he's presenting. Because he's saying, based on a flat earth, because the sun will always physically be above the clouds, you'll never get light underneath the clouds, which is false. We've actually demonstrated this many times.
And it's all completely irrelevant, because look at how ridiculous this diagram is with the giant sun and their fake conception of the sun rays as they come down in these like straight lines, whatever, you know. This is what they do, man. They give you these really simple models, like childish models, to explain really complicated stuff. You know what I mean? Whenever it comes to like showing us the bigger picture, that's the tactic. This is like, oh, childish image. This explains it all, you know, even though we're talking about this like vast, huge thing.
Yeah. But I find it very hypocritical of them when we make a, you know, just a demonstrated model to give a on what we're trying to give an argument. They say, but you're not putting it to scale. But do we ever get anything to scale from them? No, never. So I find that very hypocritical. But yes, this has been demonstrated by Chris Berry. It's been demonstrated by myself. I think even Brendan on Brendan's show at a stage, it's been demonstrated where we can have a light source higher than a partition, and because of the reflection and the angle, it reflects the light to the bottom of that partition, even though it's higher than there. So, yeah, this is just a straw man argument that shows they don't really look into anything other than just believing people like Mr. Dave McKeegan.
Does that make sense? Now, flat earthers will say, well, the sun just appears to set because it gets further away from us, and from our vantage point, it looks like the sun is going down. But dear friends, according to the flat earth model, the sun is always, always, always above the clouds. It has to be. It is above the clouds. So there's no possible way for the sun's rays ever to come up from underneath the clouds and illuminate the underside of the clouds. All of us have seen this. We've all seen sunsets, right? And the underneath side of the clouds is illumined by the sun's rays. But if the sun is on top of the clouds, there is no scenario.
Reflections and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to see if I can find Chris Berry's video.
The sun will reflect off the sea. That can light up the bottom of the clouds. You know what I mean? Daylight itself.
Does anybody got a link to Chris Berry's clouds? I'm trying to see if I can find it. I haven't seen it in a long time. Chris Berry's been very quiet these days. I don't even know if he's on YouTube anymore, to be honest.
When's he going to get to the picture that's going to destroy the flat earth? That's what I'm wondering.
He showed it. Remember with his...
Oh, that was it?
That was it.
Oh, shit.
The sun popping up over the top of the trees.
And yeah, this is his argument. Because of that photo, it shows light underneath in the clouds, so therefore flat earth debunked. But I mean, you see, this is the one thing I got to say, though, which I have an issue with. He's a pastor, okay? He's trying to debunk a biblical cosmology because he's saying the Bible doesn't teach a flat earth. So why are you not using scripture then to say the scripture's not teaching flat earth? That's what would be my argument if I was trying to say the Bible doesn't teach a flat earth. Why is he using straw man arguments from people like Dave McKeegan that absolutely know nothing about the flat earth because they keep doing straw man models? Roger Ledwell, thank you for your $2 suggest. Shout out to P Brain. Yeah, P Brain rocks. Shout out to P Brain.
clickbait.
Yeah, actually.
Man, it's like this one I saw yesterday. The thumbnail and the title of it was a guy saying, "Is it possible to sail a boat with your own source of wind?" In other words, if you put a fan on a boat.
I know what you're talking about. Mark Robber.
He never touched it. He never even touched it. The whole thing was a bunch of flat Earth hating. That's all it was.
All he did was for 2 seconds he showed it and saying, "You see, because it's giving wind resistance equal and opposite direction on both sides, it wouldn't work." That was his argument. But that's how it works. He's making you think that's what it is. At least at the end, he went to Ecuador and he showed, listen, Coriolis doesn't work there. So that was good. Showing it was just a gimmick, Globies. When he pours that water in at the basin on both sides of the so-called equator line, he pours it in a certain way to give it that directional spin. So that
my bathroom's right on the equator because my sink right across from the toilet, they spin different ways. They spin different directions.
Nice.
I think P-Brain also did it. I'm looking on P-Brain to see if I can find the demonstration. Let's play some.
For the sun's rays to get underneath the clouds and illuminate the underbelly of those clouds. The only way this works is if the Earth is round. And so this is one picture that I took. Here's another picture that I took from my iPhone, showing the same thing.
You see, the moon's above there, but now you don't see the sun, but you see light below the clouds. Now he's saying, you see, because you see light below the clouds, therefore no flat Earth. You do know you also get things that's called diffraction of light, and you get inverse square law of light. What happens with the inverse square law of light? As soon as the light source is moving further away, the intensity gets less and it spreads out more because it's diverging. And as far as you know,
I don't know what I'm gonna do for a channel now since this is out. This right here, that ruined me. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, Bartron. Yes, this is definitely a flat Earth channel, mate. Good to see you. Good to see new people in. Glad you could make it. But yeah, I mean, last time I checked, water vapor refracts light, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So angle of incident from the light from the sun moving far away, and because it's diffused, because the inverse square law of light, it can even cause it to look like it's underneath the clouds.
Yeah.
I mean, I've shown video where you see the sun has practically set around, and I turn around and it shows light above the clouds. How does that work? If the light's showing above the clouds while it's setting. So, yeah. I think this is a weak argument, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought he had more than this.
Clouds being illumined from underneath. So just a little bit of science here. The law of reflection states that on reflection from a smooth surface, the angle of the reflected ray is equal to the angle of the incident ray. So in other words, if you have a smooth surface or reflective surface, at whatever angle the incident ray is coming up, say it's at a 45-degree angle, when it hits the surface off of which it reflects, if it's coming up at 45
Remember,
degrees.
you're talking about flat surfaces. Note that, guys.
Yeah.
He's talking about a perfect environment of flat surfaces, not taking any variable into account.
It will then be reflected back down at 45 degrees, illustrated with this little drawing here. So, all that to say, the only way that you and I can see the underneath side of the clouds is for light to be reflecting off of those clouds and coming back to our these two orbs sitting in our skulls. So the light has to be coming up from underneath the clouds to get back down to us. That's
false. That is false. Because clouds are practically water vapor. They have a different index of refraction. So as soon as the light hits it with the angle of incident, just like, remember, Sol, you showed that guy in the swimming pool?
Yeah.
At an angle, and it moved his body.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what you're seeing. So if the light's above and it hits it at an angle that's got a different refraction light, it's going to change the angle for us to see the light. It refracts through the clouds.
I can bring that up anytime.
Yeah. Completely show it. And I got P-Brain demonstrating this stuff as well. So we'll definitely show P-Brain as well.
Let's see.
Sorry, Mark. People want to know: are you a glober?
Hello,
Mark.
Me?
Yeah.
Glober? What does that mean? What is that?
Do you believe in the globe or flat Earth?
Do I believe in the globe? What do you mean? I don't understand.
Heliocentric model.
Do I think the Earth is spherical?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking? Yes. I believe the Earth is an oblate spheroid.
Okay, yeah. We were wondering because it seemed like the way you were talking, we're trying to figure out. There we go. See on screen? You see, it's just it's the shape of the container and the angle of incidence which causes the reflection of the light. Remember how Justin just gave it? He gave it as flat surfaces, perfect flat surfaces, no different variable. And that's why his argument is just actually based on ignorance.
Did that dude like say the two orbs in our heads?
Yeah.
he chose those words. I find that a bit strange, man. It's almost like he's saying, like, because we've got orbs in our heads, that makes the Earth an orb. A bit like how they say the Earth is an orb because we can see orb-like things up there.
Yeah.
You see how these little words like almost give away the kind of weird mindset, the indoctrination. It's like, oh, I've got orbs. I mean, who says that orbs in my head? No one says that.
Yeah, it's very specific wording.
This is weird wording. I mean, I never heard that, man. And it's like, you know, it's this obsession with the orb.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that stems right from that cult, the Pythagorean cult there, where this sphere was the perfect shape and all this. I mean, they really were just revering balls. And that's why I say when these people come out with this idea of they've known that the Earth is a globe for 3,000 years. And I'm like, look, a couple of dudes sitting around in a bathhouse in Greece talking about balls does not mean that all of Greece thought this. Okay, stop with that. In fact, most people thought those guys needed to get a job.
Exactly. So I think we're going to end up finishing this guy's video quickly, and then I'm going to show P-Brain's video as well.
All right.
You guys interested in that? Because he does go through, and P-Brain did an awesome job.
Only round Earth. Now here's a couple of more dramatic pictures. I did not take these photos, but this is Mount Rainier in Washington State.
Also debunked many times. Also a demonstration I've done in the spray booth showing shadows on top from this light source above. It's just got to do with the angle. Very specific. I don't know why they're bringing up these 2015 arguments. I think Bob the Science Guy brought this up first in like 2015 or 2016. And everybody showed him to be a complete moron because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've even done 3D modeling showing that this is not what you
Michael did a demonstration of this, didn't he?
In his kitchen even, yeah.
Yeah, in his kitchen, yeah.
It's just like, okay, so somebody dispels the magician's trick of how the lady is sawn in half. So everybody is aware of how the lady appears to be sawn in half. And the magician just keeps going, but you don't understand. She's sawed in half. And it's like, no, she's not. Okay? We already know different. Stop. You're not fooling us. Doubling down is not going to make us go, oh, yeah, okay, we're fooled again.
Yeah, it's just an optical illusion. Exactly. It's like
we don't get fooled again.
Parlor trick.
But I think,
oh no.
And that's what you try to explain to Craig how it's a parlor trick, and he just didn't really get it.
No, they don't have an ability to think. They have to be given everything. They memorize it, and that's all they know. They can't take two ideas and put them together, formulate another idea out of two different things.
It's also this very trusting thing, man. And like, especially in the UK, it's such a nanny state and has become in every way that the populace has just been trained into just doing what they're told all the time. And it's just very much that mindset, man. It's no one's fault. It's been like, it's part of the society.
And telling on each other. Tell the authorities on people. This guy looked at me wrong. This guy made a face at me. You know, I'm sorry, man. I'm never gonna go for that one, man. I'm a grown man. I can handle my own problems. You know, I'm not gonna run to another man to take care of my problem for me. That's weak.
Exactly.
That's weak.
Well, unless I don't know how to fix it. I mean,
no, I'm not talking about fixing. I'm talking about, you know, like.
I know, I'm teasing you.
Yeah. There's some shit I ain't gonna fix. Like I've been firing guns my whole life, but I still take my guns to a gunsmith if I need something worked on because I don't want to mess with that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do the right.
That's kind of like doing your own propane tanks. You know, you can do it, but it can be dangerous. And if you don't know what you're doing, you might blow yourself up. You know,
like the meth labs do, right? They have a chemistry lab and they did something wrong.
A good point. Yeah, there you go.
Roger Ledwell, thank you again for another $2 super chat. He says, we don't have smooth here. Yeah, we actually live on a horizontal topographical plane. I don't know. It's so hard for people to understand. If you have a horizontal foundation and you have mountains and hills and valleys and things, it's still a flat earth. The foundation is flat. You just got topography on top of that foundation. That's all.
You ever set up a model railroad?
Mm-hmm.
Like with the little buildings and everything, one of the first things you do is you find a nice flat, level surface. And then you can put your little hills and your little valleys and your little stores and all that shit on there. But ultimately, it starts with a level, flat foundation. Otherwise, none of it will work right.
Exactly.
A big sheet of plywood is the perfect place.
There's several pictures of this. You can see, you can Google images, easy. So you see the shadow that is coming from Mount Rainier, and it is beautiful pictures, right? And so the shadow of Mount Rainier is...
This one is showing, by the way, the top of the mountains above the clouds.
Right.
Well, I wasn't aware that a chemtrail could leave a shadow in the sky either, even on a clear day with no clouds, but it does. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I can't explain how it works, but I know it does.
I've seen that. I was like, at first I was like, what? They're laying black chem lines? What the?
No, I thought maybe the black thing was like a guide for the plane to tell it where to go and where to spray. But I realized that it must be a shadow because that wouldn't make any sense. Like the sky just opens up and there's a dark spot. That doesn't make sense, right? But I've noticed that there's these lines in the sky that weren't there before. And I'm not sure why it looks that way, whether it's something they're spraying in the air or whether it's something different. But it is weird. It is very weird.
Yeah, you're seeing the underside of a shadow on this photograph right here of his. Okay, that top of that mountain sticking up above the clouds. And so it's casting that shadow. You're seeing the above portion of that.
Yeah,
I believe I watched there's like a I don't know, some kind of an explanation about how this happens on, I don't remember where it was. I don't remember, but it was something like that. And they explained how this happens. So I know it's not caused because the sun goes lower than the clouds. That's ridiculous. It's actually caused by refraction and certain types of moisture and the evening and the sun being in the right spot and all that. It's a whole combination of things that have to be just right for this to work. And it only lasts for like a short period of time. It's not like it would be that way for hours. You know, it's like usually a short period of time, and then the angle of incidence, like you were saying, changes, and then you can't see it anymore.
Okay.
Is being cast on the underneath side of the clouds. That's because the sun's rays are coming. They're illuminating the underneath side of the clouds and also catching the top of Mount Rainier and casting that shadow on the same side, the underneath side of those clouds. That is not possible on a flat Earth.
I wish I would stop doing that.
It is.
That is not possible.
It is if the refractive index is right, and it is if there's also a lake nearby which could reflect the light from the sun off the ground and then back up to the clouds again.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah, I said that earlier. Reflections, yeah.
So honestly, I don't understand why he's saying this never happens, because that's not true.
Yeah, but you know what also, which really bothers me as well, they love sticking this in. This should never happen on a flat Earth. You should never see a horizon on a flat Earth. That's just total insanity.
Yeah.
That's rubbish.
Well, maybe not on a manhole cover, but
or you should see Mount Everest forever from anywhere on Earth. It's like, no. It's like, where do you get these idiotic
it's simply
statements?
because light curves up at a certain distance. It all reflects upwards. That's why it seems to be. It's so silly. It really is.
I mean, I know they like parroting stuff, but they're parroting from people that literally make a living out of straw manning people's arguments.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how, if you're looking at a flat Earth model, no matter how far away the sun may move away from you, it always remains way above the clouds.
Okay.
Go back to that spot where it showed the clouds, because I can explain this to you very easily. Literally, the sun hits the cloud. Let's say the first cloud in the front, right? Let's say the sun reflects off of that cloud. That cloud reflects the light towards the other ones. That will give you a shadow, dude. I don't know what he means by it. Plus, there's water all around it, so the water could be reflecting the sun, and the sun could be reflecting off the water, and then hitting the mountain, and then going up and hitting clouds. It's real simple.
Exactly.
Does anybody disagree with that by chance? Because I mean, I'm curious.
I completely agree with you.
Only Mark disagrees. Mark, you have anything to say, mate?
Yeah.
About what?
Do you disagree with what Ryan just said?
What was he saying? I'm sorry, I was taking a phone call.
I said, if you look at the picture that he's showing there, if the sun were to ricochet off that first cloud or the second cloud in the row there from the right, it could reflect off of that cloud. The light could refract off of that towards the other clouds and then cause some kind of shadow that would seem to be coming from underneath the cloud, couldn't it? So therefore, and plus there's water around it too, so the sun could be reflecting off the water and then hitting the mountain and then hitting the cloud. So there's an explanation that would explain it on a flat Earth, and it doesn't need any extra reasoning, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then.
Okay. Here's a demonstration I did to show the light source is always going to be higher than the observer. Okay? Always higher. But notice as it moves away how it seems to dip into the horizon. So I'm just moving the paint can with it. This is due to perspective. It's not physically dropping. It's still exactly the same height above the camera.
Yeah, and you could measure that all along the wall if you needed to prove that.
Mm-hmm. Just to show it. Now I'm going to leave the paint tin can there, representing a mountain. There we go. Is it physically going behind the paint can, or is it just foreshortened thanks to the angle?
It definitely disappeared.
And now, when I lift the light, I'm going to see further. There we go. See? Still same elevation.
Wow, it reappeared. It's amazing.
So it has to be a globe.
I don't know about that, but well, didn't they say oblate spheroid? Like, how come we've never seen a photograph of an oblate spheroid from space? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's
Look at this
negligible.
photograph. Sorry? Go again, Mark?
Right, negligible, right.
I see someone else is trying to join.
Very large.
But I don't buy that. It's too large to see the curve, but boats can go over a curve 3 miles away.
Really?
Have you got space Flatzoid in your stream?
No, I'm full. I see room is full.
Yeah, space.
Yeah, I'll let this other dude on.
So, how many people are in on this?
Shot Anson, you rock, man.
Oh, you mean is there room on the board?
How many people would have to be in on the conspiracy?
Oh, it's Luch trying to get in.
I don't think that very many people would have to be in on it. I mean, if you can convince people of stupid things without any evidence, then it's really easy to convince people. You don't need to really do anything. You just show them an acceptable explanation, and most people will just accept it because whoever, if you've got a degree, then obviously you know what you're talking about, right?
Wouldn't that have real world consequences though if your ideas didn't work?
Not necessarily, because the only thing that would really be affected would be travel, right? But they don't use a ball Earth for travel, so that explains it, right?
Pardon me, they don't use a ball Earth for travel?
In other words, you don't keep a globe in your airplane or on your ship. You use a sextant, which requires a flat, level surface, my friend.
Yep. Roger Ledwell, thank you very much for another $2 super chat. He says 93 million miles is really high above the clouds. Yes. Thank you very much, super chat, man. You, Rob. Appreciate it. Yes, Luch. Did you want to rebut what Ryan said?
I wanted to say two things about. Well, one thing. The first thing was I think I've been banned from the.
Yeah, you were banned. You were banned. Yes, you are banned.
Okay.
You were banned yesterday.
Oh, did you troll again?
Yes, you were banned. He was banned for that. Remember when you freed him yesterday? I think he thought you freed him by mistake, so she banned him again for the thing he did the night.
Okay,
so yeah, he was banned.
I'll unban you again. But try not to troll.
You get more chances than anybody else. Let me just tell you that. You get a lot more chances than anybody else.
I'll admit, I think the only reason why he gets that is because he's polite and he's not rude, right?
Yes.
If he was rude and obnoxious, then he'd obviously be kicked a long time ago. So
yeah, look at the difference between him and Sean Hawkins, for instance.
Oh, for crying out loud, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
that's right. If you can be cordial and you can show respect, you'll give chances. You know what I mean? But if you just literally like Sean Hawkins, that comes and insults everybody left, right, and center because he's got mental issues, and sorry.
And I've got nothing against
but if you troll, I just do the same as what any other troll. I ban them or I time them out. It wasn't me banned you, right? But if I see you trolling, I will just ban you or time you out. It's simple as that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm sorry that I come off as a troll.
No stress.
Well, you did. I mean, come on, you must see what you do sometimes. It's very trollish.
But
you know what you're up to.
You guys want to watch some P
We
brain?
love you, but
the second thing I wanted to say was about the video that Flatzoid showed about the sun, or well, in this case,
the paint tin cans.
Yeah, the tin can one. That one. See, the something physically blocked the sunlight. That's
and the sun was physically above that tin can, wasn't it?
Until it got blocked by it.
But you understand, was physically above it, correct?
Yeah.
And we were physically below it.
Yeah, we were below the tin cans.
And the further and further away it goes, the more chance you have for foreshortening, occultation due to things in your way.
But
let's put it this way. If you're standing by the shoreline and you're looking out to the ocean, do the waves get bigger and bigger and swells get bigger and bigger as they get out deeper into the ocean?
Get what gets bigger and bigger?
Yeah.
The what?
The swells and the waves and things deep in the ocean. Have you ever been on a boat before? In the ocean?
Yes.
Have you? The further you go out, if you realize that the further you go out, the deeper the swells get and the larger the waves get.
They're pretty much the same. I'd say.
No, they get much bigger, mate. And you
they
being
get
your
bigger,
normal
and the reason why is because there's no bank, there's no beach in order for them to bounce off of and to stop them from rolling. So they just continuously roll. Yes,
there's more mass moving around there.
Yep, and the depth of the ocean has a lot to do with it too. How much dirt?
Yeah, and you standing on the shoreline stays exactly the same height as you are, which let's say you 6 foot for Pete's sake standing there. You're not going to be the same as a 25-foot wave further out. Yes, its angular size looks tiny bit apart, but you are physically lower than that wave, and the sun or ship or whatever that's gone into the distance is beyond that, so it foreshortens to give the effect of going down.
So, but something would need to physically block it, though.
The
get in the
waves, and we got things called like with magnification due to the atmos. That will cause it to be in different. Yes, the atmos that gives it different positions. You got water vapor that helps with the refraction. You got temperature inversions. Perspective that helps the things to go and converge to the convergence point. It's all just optical, mate. That's what we're trying to tell you. It's not physical Earth curve getting in the way.
I think the only way that you're not going to be able to see a light is if it gets physically blocked by something.
Yeah, and like I said, if a wave is 25 feet in height, you're a 6-foot person. Are you lower than that 25-foot wave?
Yeah.
Great. Get it?
Not really.
Okay, let's take my phone, for instance, and I'll see if I can explain it this way. This is the wave. This is you. Let's it this way. This is the wave. This is you. Can you see I'm lower than the wave?
Yes.
No matter the distance, it's still physically higher than me. Correct?
Yeah.
So it's still going to block the thing in the distance, foreshortening.
Okay.
Let's put it this way. Sun far away, wave closer.
Well, yeah, when you put it like that, yeah, I guess. Well, it's just it's just hearing that, it would appear that it would block the sun if it was right in front of your face.
And far away, but
guess.
the point is, it's
My
not.
thumb could obstruct the view.
Yeah, thumb can. The point is, it's not physical Earth curve. It's just based on your angle. It's perspective. It's foreshortened. It's all optical effects.
I'll have to look it up a little bit and get back to you with my answer.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly look at P-Brain a bit as he also rebutted this light under the cloud. Shout out to P-Brain. I'm just gonna mute the music for now.
Those were the two things I wanted to say. So bye again.
Cheers, man. Thank you for coming. But yeah, there's the link for P-Brain if you guys wanna click. Okay, still music. See, there it's showing light underneath the clouds. I wonder if it's got captions. Still just music. So it's just showing the light on the clouds, but let's get to where he actually explains it.
Matrix here, your perspective structure, I like to call this. The convergence point of this structure, which is also your horizon, is visually a few miles away, and the sun is sitting there on the ground. And that sun sitting on the ground will light the underside of the clouds from your perspective. Now remember, this is just the illusion of reflected light between the observer and the light source. No observer present, and this doesn't even take place. That's a head scratcher in itself. It's kind of like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Mm-hmm. Well, it only makes a sound if you have apparatus to perceive it. You know, the eardrum and the sensations of sound waves or whatever. They're only what they are if you have an apparatus to receive it. So it's kind of like the sun and the light. You need eyes and you need consciousness to be able to receive this stuff, to perceive this stuff. Okay, the clouds are lit up. And specifically, the underside of the clouds are lit up because they are acting as a mirror or reflective surface. And none of this, like I said, is real.
Exactly, and you could see the reflection on the ocean. So as it was moving away, just like I showed with the tin can demonstration, it appeared to drop. It doesn't physically drop. And as it's moving away, that light is diffracting and reflecting off of the surface to the underneath the clouds.
It's just
this can be demonstrated time and time again.
Reflection. For instance, look at these two guys standing on the shore. The guy on the right sees the water lit up between himself and the sun. The guy on the left, standing a few feet away, also sees the water lit up between himself and the sun. But the guy on the right does not see the lit up portion between the other guy and the sun, and vice versa. This guy doesn't see his water lit up. So the lit up water isn't real. The water isn't really lit up. It's just a reflection. Just like when you see yourself in a mirror, you aren't actually in the mirror, and someone else standing at a different angle to the mirror who looks in the same mirror.
Let's go back quickly. Do you see this? Mark, can I ask you a question? Does it look like the sun and the
because you exist on a different level.
Yeah, but I want to ask, does it look like the sun is behind the horizon here, Mark? Sorry, you're the only globe here, so I have to ask you.
Does the sun look like what? Looks like
it's
behind
the horizon. Like it's behind the horizon.
Setting, or is it rising?
It doesn't matter, but does it look like it's behind the horizon though?
Well, of course it's behind the horizon.
How is the reflection so close to the observer?
I would imagine that's due to refraction, heat, and whatnot.
Anson, what's up? Sorry, I didn't know it was Luch trying to come in. But yeah, the reason we can see the reflection is because it's not below the horizon. It's not going below a ball. It's actually physically above a flat surface, and it only appears to drop due to perspective. That's why.
Actually in the mirror, and someone else standing at a different angle to the mirror who looks in the same mirror at the same time may not see you in it at all. They may see themselves or something else entirely, depending on their point of view or their perspective or their angle. So when you see the clouds lit up, they're not actually lit up. They're reflecting the sunlight, and that reflected sunlight is unique to the observer. Just like the water is, except the clouds scatter the light because they're not as solid a reflective surface as the water, and they're not as flat like the water is. So the clouds here, you can see them, they're kind of orangey in this picture, but on the water, it's a deep red. That's because the water is absorbing, the darkness of the water is changing the orange.
Yeah, you get different absorption of light with different mediums. And like I said as well, because it has diffusion, as it moves away of the inverse square of light, as it disperses, it gets the intensity gets less and less, and it spreads out more. And that's why you see the light dimming as it gets away.
Orange to more of a deeper red. But no,
and this is why we have twilight, guys. Not that nonsense. Oh, it's because it's behind a curve. It's simply because of the diminishing light as it moves away.
Again, none of that is real. A viewer on the other side looking toward the shore may not even see the red water. It all depends, where you're located. Definitely the orange under the clouds there, that's all. You can see that it's hotter white in line with the observer. So I'm saying that doesn't exist, except for that an observer is there to see it. Okay.
Shout out to P-Brain. I think that's all we need to see. That's just debunk the guy's arguments. So, I guess that's the stream. Do you guys have any closing statements? Any thoughts?
That whoever this guy is a little bit nuts.
I still like Justin Peters. Like I said, he preaches really well. He's got really good sermons.
That's what I was going to say. When it comes to Justin Peters, I like what he's got to teach about the Bible. I like his sermons and I like what he calls out the Christians that are in the wrong and that prosperity teachings and stuff. But you should go back and read Genesis and try and make the imagery match with the words, and they don't. Yeah. They don't. Not with what he believes anyway,
Yeah.
But apart from that, I love him, man. He's brilliant. I've been sub to him for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Justin, if you're seeing this, mate, it'd be great to have a conversation if you want to chat biblical cosmology based on the Bible, because that's supposed to be what he was supposed to chat about. I mean, if he's trying to debunk it as a biblical, or is he just saying flat Earth? Okay, so he's just saying flat Earth. But it's ironic
So
that he
it is-
tries to debunk flat Earth when the book he is pushing is a flat Earth book. So yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't let his disability stop him either. He went to one of these faith healing places to try and debunk him. He went there with this wheelchair and all that to try and get healing, to see if they would take him up. But because he was in a wheelchair and they could see he was definitely disabled, they wouldn't have it. They're like, no, you're not getting to the front. You're not
No,
getting
but
to
you
the front.
see, there's a lot of scams like that, especially like the mega churches. They get someone that can walk, and they got a disability,
Yeah.
and they put them in a wheelchair, and then they push
Yeah.
them to the front there, and then they tell them to get up, and everybody says, "Oh, this person was in a wheelchair, and look how they're walking." In the meantime, the person can
Yeah.
walk. They were just put in a wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like throwing their money at the dude.
Exactly.
Like, ah.
It's a miracle. Oh my Lord. I've seen that. They go bopping him on the head and the guy gets up, I'm cured, and he runs around the church and everything, and these people are amazed, you know. Forget the fact that you've never seen this guy. The tent is full of everybody you know from town. This guy, you've never seen him before, but it happens to him.
Like Benny Hinn and co.
That's it. Yeah, that's the thing. And some of the people that go and see it, go there with faith, thinking they're going to be healed. And in the excitement, with the adrenaline and all that, they think they're healed because their pain's gone. As soon as they leave the church and the hype's gone and the music's gone, the emotion's gone, they're back in the wheelchair or they're back in pain, you know?
Yeah, and it just goes to show like the positive energy that you can generate just by a group of people like getting together and like, you know, but you could do that without that, you know, that element of it that we know is like monetary and a bit cynical, and it's not, you know, it's like they're manipulating those positive forces, but it's kind of, they're just doing it for like the money, aren't they? At the end of the day, the proof's in the pudding, man. These people's lifestyles are not like humble. So, you know,
that's right.
No preacher needs that much money, man.
No, I mean, like buying a private jet and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just
yeah.
I'm sorry, but any preacher that collects money from other people is a scam artist.
Justifying to buy a private jet.
You can't expect a man of God to travel in a tube full of demons. Come on now.
I was just about to say that, so
that idiot is just crazy.
That guy looks like a straight up demon himself, man.
He's definitely possessed by
Kenneth Copeland's definitely not so shit, guys. No.
Yeah. When he says that to that reporter that time, he says, "And don't you ever say I did." His eyes, the proper demon. Then he calms down and he says, and then he comes out with scripture. And I'm like, wow, he just changed from that to that like that.
With that fake ass smile that he did. He got all, don't you ever say I did.
As soon as you see they start preaching, as soon as they start preaching prosperity.
If I met a dude like that in real life, I'd probably just punch him right in the nose.
As soon as they start preaching prosperity, then you know it's a scam. Finished.
Of course, that's it.
I think the problem
give what's in your heart to give cheerily, but don't give what you can afford, not what you can't afford. They expect these guys are rich and they're taking like people's last of their savings, keeping them poor.
I mean, I've been part of churches where the pastors literally they drive like a little VW Beetle around that's falling out. You know, they go struggling with the thing, or they drive a little Polo, and they give all the money they can to people to help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a different story. And then you get guys like Kenneth Copeland and stuff that's buying private jets, got 5 houses. No, I need to live in luxury. I'm just blessed. No, you're stealing money. That's not blessed.
God made that jet so cheap to buy that I just had to buy it.
Yeah, like how could I resist that deal? I got it from Tyler Perry. I mean, come on, Tyler Perry. Oh, God, really?
You know, isn't that exactly what the Catholics did? They took people's beliefs and their sort of traditions and they turned it into a business.
But that's what'll blow your mind. You'll look in some little third world area, the people are starving to death, they're barefoot, they're living in mud houses and shit. And here's the Catholic Church down the street, all ordained with gold and, you know, all this ornate shit. And it's everything. And it's like, wait. You know, seems to me that you guys aren't really doing what you're supposed to do. Isn't
No, not following scripture, man. There's no tool.
No.
It's just they've created their own thing.
Yeah, look how the disciples lived. They lived in poverty.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got persecuted. They did what they could to get the word out. Not, I'm becoming a disciple so I can get live as comfortable as I can. No.
Yeah. Like Peter said, going into seeing the bag, he says, "Silver and gold I haven't got, but this I can give you."
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the word, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know, and this thing of the globe as well, man. It's like the problem is the globe comes with evolution and it comes with space. So as a Christian, you've then got to take on these two ideas as well, which are, if anything, are even more against the teachings of the Bible. So it's like you can't detach one from the other. That's why I believe it's such a problem.
Yeah. Roger Lidwell, thank you very much for another $2 super chat, mate. I appreciate it. He says, I used to go to his church when I was a kid. Wow. Hectic. I think he's saying Kenneth Copeland. No, that's hectic.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've been in some mega churches and I've been in small churches. There's definitely differences.
Yeah.
And you know what? When he prays in tongues, he tries to make his tongue sound a bit Latin. So his is a bit more advanced than other people's tongues.
Well, there's a pattern. They use a pattern. Okay. And this is a what this is doing is getting people into a rhythmic pattern. They're getting them into a rhythmic pattern. And it's easy to get people and orchestrate their emotions as a crowd if you have this kind of pattern. Now you add in dramatic music notes and shit that come in like blah, 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 out of the organ when he makes a point, blah, blah, when he continues the point, that kind of stuff. That's going to hit people on an emotional level. Mm-hmm. So it's a sales. The guy is selling himself.
They do use a certain hertz harmonic to get people emotionally attached to what's going on. It's literally a thing that churches do as a tactic.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Kenneth Copeland and Peter Rodney Howard Rodney, is it? Not Peter, Rodney Howard Brown. He's South African, I think, Flats. They were talking in tongues to each other like they were having a conversation. And that's not how tongues are meant to be used anyway.
No.
You know? Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, talking to each other like, and then he'd reply, yeah, but and they'd laugh together and that.
They practiced that before.
But
of course, and they tried to make it sound light.
About 30 years ago, I dropped acid and I found myself in a some kind of a evangelical type church, man. And I was like, what in the world? My friend says, this is a trip. Watch this. And I'm like, what's going on? All of a sudden, man, there was people doing that, jumping up and running around and speaking in tongues and all this shit. And here I am, I'm tripping balls and I'm trying not to laugh. And these people are coming up to me and praising me with all this crazy nuts and talking in these tongues and shit. I was like, how do I get out of here? I'm thinking, how do I get out of here? So I just acted like I flipped the shit out and started babbling stuff and ran out the fucking door.
What do you guys think about the third temple thing happening at the moment? The red heifer is about to get sacrificed.
Yeah,
just like the Bible says will happen.
Oh, goody.
And the military wing has moved their embassy to Jerusalem a couple of years ago, outside of the capital of Tel Aviv. This is like a highly controversial thing. They have crowned Donald Trump the Moshiach, which basically he's the Messiah.
Yeah, well, it's between him. It's between him and that other Ben. There's a Ben. I can't remember his surname. Also, he's a Jew, a Jewish bishop or rabbi. Ben something that they also see as the Messiah. So yeah, soon enough we'll see who the false Antichrist is, because they'll exalt themselves in the third temple.
Well, what was it, old Craig Locke? There's another one for you. He was up there. I saw a part of his sermon one time where he was going, and they need to just get everybody out of there and blow that wretched dome off of that rock so the third temple can be built. And I was like, oh, there's a way to get the rest of the Muslim world down on your ass. Go for that. Try
the
that.
red heifer sacrifice.
What you smoking on there, man?
Has the red heifer been sacrificed?
What you got there?
It's a cigarette, man.
Oh, okay. I thought you.
No, I'm
it wasn't a cigarette. Would that be a problem?
I'm bong hits. That's me and my main thing, man.
Yeah, it was 6 days ago.
I'm not suggesting that everyone else should, but
fair enough.
6 days ago, what, Flatzoid?
The red heifer. They said the red heifer is about to be sacrificed in Israel. That was 6 days ago.
When
After
are they
2,000 years?
When are they calling for it? I'm wondering, is it going to coincide with this eclipse? Because this is something I just ran across. I was going to say something about it earlier. My little news thing popped up on here. Let me see if I can open it back up. And it's saying all these different states are closing schools and issuing emergency orders and
emergency orders.
Yeah.
What do they know?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. They're saying, oh, well, it's due to the influx of people that are going to come to see it and everything. And I'm like, dude, you've had all that time and that can be prepared for. And it's a boondoggle to your area because you're going to sell hotel rooms. You're going to sell food in restaurants. That's only going to increase the revenue of the municipality itself. This is a wonderful thing that should be coming, but they're closing schools and they're issuing all these warnings. Let me bring that up real quick.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like they know something's going to happen.
I think it's fear porn, but I could be wrong.
That's very possible.
Or maybe a combination of the two, They're always trying to put the spanner in the works of people doing positive things and, doing what they want. So, they know a lot of people into doing, into the eclipse or interested in it. So they're just, it's just about kind of controlling people, man. I think they're trying to stop people traveling more nowadays as well. I don't know.
Just like Thomas Bobby says, the Agenda 2030.
It says here, this is from Newsweek. So not that it means anything, but that's one of your more well-known news outlets. It says hundreds of schools are set to close over safety fears during a solar eclipse next month, which will plunge several states into darkness. It doesn't get like it's night. The moon will appear to cover the entire surface of the sun during the early afternoon of Monday, April the 8th. The path of totality will begin in Mexico. He's telling about the thing. Hold on a minute.
But sorry, doesn't it get nighttime there, you guys?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And here they go. Looking directly at the sun could lead to permanent eye damage, but there are other things.
Really?
Experts have said that drivers may be distracted on the roads, which in some areas will see buildup in traffic as those from out of town flock to watch the eclipse. Authorities are also concerned that huge crowds could put a strain on local resources and first responders. Well, I was just saying, like in tourist season here, our restaurants and stores and hotels love it in the fall when everybody comes to see.
Exactly.
But closing schools and stuff is not going to cause no traffic. People are still going to be driving.
So this is and all these school issues are out in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Yeah, it's going right over Dallas, and it's not a big deal. There's going to be a lot of people.
But still, how many solar eclipses has been? Just like a Canadian says, 2 solar eclipses in the last 7 months. So what makes this one so different?
Well, in here it says several counties have already issued disaster declarations in advance, with Texans warned to stock up on food and gas as visitors head into the state, and multiple schools will close because of safety concerns for students.
I'm in Texas. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it sounds like a load of rubbish to me, man. Just like you say, they're just very hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole list of all these different schools in each state that are. You said you're in Texas, right? Isn't that what you just said? Texas?
Yeah, he said Texas.
I'm in Dallas. It's going to come right over us, man.
So let me see here. God damn, it's just going down through each state. New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Maine. Damn it, I must have passed it. It's going in their order. Because I can, let's see, Ohio, boom, 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 boom. Come on, y'all. Indiana. Well, yeah, all it says about Texas is several counties have issued disaster declarations in advance. Texans warned to stock up on food and gas as visitors head to the state. The Hayes County School District is among those closing its schools for the day. Do you know what Hayes County is? Despite previously planned to mark the day with students and issuing special viewing glasses.
I don't think you understand how big Texas is, man.
Oh, yeah, I do. I've been through it. Although it was just up at the little square part of it, on I-40.
Yeah. It says 3 days ago, Fox News, Travis County judge has issued a local disaster declaration in anticipation for the upcoming solar total eclipse next month. This is 3 days ago. In Central Texas.
Del Val Manor and Lake Travis schools will be also closed, and it's in Texas.
Yeah, Fox Weather, same thing. ABC News, same thing.
Have you ever heard of them doing that before for an eclipse? I've never heard of that before. Having to have a national emergency or be prepared or anything else like that. People
special eclipse. It only happens once every 350 something years, I believe.
I mean, it's not like nobody knows it's coming, for crying out loud.
Yeah, let's join the Space Force.
The world.
I think all the flat earthers have to stay. We must just sit there. Wait for the alien invasion, guys.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be in Springfield, Texas, or Springfield, Ohio. I don't know why I said Texas. Probably on my mind. I'm going to be in Springfield, Ohio. I'm going to be filming it, and I'll be watching it with my naked eyes too, because I believe that the sun is directly connected to your consciousness. This is why we're on the cycle that we're on, the circadian cycle, where we're awake and energized during the day. We get tired and sleep in the evening. Of course, the Industrial Revolution has come forth and made people get out of that circadian cycle, but your natural rhythm is to be energized in the day and to recharge at night. And I find that there's a big spike in my consciousness after sun gazing. So I wonder if viewing this, I mean, I can't see how it could hurt my eyes if you're blocking out the sun when I look at the sun all the time when it's not blocked. So them telling me that I shouldn't look at it is telling me that I absolutely should be looking at it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think we're going to end the stream here.
Okay.
It was a nice stream. I really appreciate you guys coming. Hopefully, Justin will actually come and talk on the flat earth subject if he wants to, and maybe we can talk biblical flat earth. Would be great. News on Ozian debate. It seems that he wants to run away from a debate now. So he emailed me, and now it seems he just wants to have a discussion. After he was so confident that he would wipe the floor with me on this challenging
debate, yeah.
But we'll see what happens there. And tomorrow night, PJ, what are you guys plans for your channel tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, there's no show tomorrow night.
Then I'll stream tomorrow.
Oh, you got to stream tomorrow? Then I was going to say I was going to put on a premiere of some sort. But if you're streaming tomorrow, that's fine.
Then I'll stream tomorrow and then Wednesday, because I'm not going to be streaming all weekend. So then I can stream tomorrow night and then Wednesday, and then you guys have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to run around butt naked if you want. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, of course, because you're not going to be. Because you're going to be. You might. Yeah, it's worked out better then. Because you're going to be having that few days off anyway, so you might go stream. Yeah, it's worked out all right then. Cool. Because Paul, I went to the meeting, and Michael couldn't be there because he's at Beth's mum's for a birthday, and Paul couldn't think of anything to do, and I said, "Well, I'll just put on a premiere then," sort of thing. But since you're going to do that, then it's fine.
Awesome. Yeah, then we can
put on a premiere.
We can stream tomorrow night then again. Awesome. Yeah, that'd be
Cool.
I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Oh, and by the way, Sovereign Soul, you have a special topic for tonight's show for you?
Yeah, I'm actually going to hopefully be able to cover your debate. I was going to go last night. I didn't know how long that one was going to go, and it just we never even got to it. So I'm going to cover your debate with Fight the Fat Ass, and we're gonna, and see what kind of traction we can get out of that, and have a little bit of fun with it. So that should be tonight, 9:35. That's Eastern American time. I put the link in the description or in the chat. So I take you right to it. You can hit that bell notification, and hopefully, by the grace of YouTube, you'll be notified. But
yeah, you should be You should be awake then doing the show when I'm doing my exercise, and I can watch some of it again.
Right on, man.
So yeah, and Ryan, you got anything to say? Guess not. Okay, Mark. Or also not. Okay, Anson, what do you have to say, mate?
Nothing else, man. I'll see you next time.
Oh, it's awesome having you on.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to finally hear your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
And I must say, I love that hoodie. It's quite cool.
Yeah, man. I got this from THC Truth is Our.
THC. Oh yeah. THC. Shout out to them. They're actually doing a good job. I think they criminally undersubbed for sure.
Yep.
So yeah, we should actually have them on here as well sometime. Okay. So guys, let's have a good evening further, or day, or whatever you guys are on this awesome stationary flat plane. Many blessings, and we'll see you